Hello everyone, welcome to the Gate Engineering online learning classes. In this video, we are going to do quick revision on maximum power transfer theorem and superposition theorem. And one thing I would like to tell you, maximum power transfer theorem is totally dependent on the Thevenin's theorem. If you know what is Thevenin's theorem and what is the procedure of the solving the problem using Thevenin's theorem, then you can easily solve the maximum power transfer theorem. So, statement is that the maximum power is delivered from a source to a load when the load resistance is equal to the source resistance. What does it mean? When we have connected one source and we will have to find the source resistance value when maximum power will be delivered from the source. So, in such case, load resistance will be equal to Thevenin's resistance or equal to the source resistance. So, at the last, you will have to compute the RTH to find out the value of RL. So, let us understand how we can solve the problem of the maximum power transfer theorem. So, this value RS should be equal to RL for transferring the maximum power from the voltage source to the load resistance. And current in this circuit will be nothing but the V divided by RS plus RL. Let's see the procedure to solve the maximum power transfer theorem. This is the circuit we have, and we consider source resistance is RTH, and we will find out the maximum power in the circuit that can be computed by the Thevenin's theorem. So, because first we have to compute the RTH for the computation of the RL, because RL is equal to RTH, and we know how we can compute the RTH and VTH. We require VTH also. So overall, we have to compute the VTH and RTH, and we have already prepared two videos for the Thevenin's theorem. So you can refer those videos for better understanding of the Thevenin's theorem. For dependent and independent sources in both cases. So you can refer two videos for better understanding of the Thevenin's theorem in both the cases where dependent sources are available and independent sources are also available. So quickly, I will give you a brief idea about the maximum power transfer theorem with the help of Thevenin's theorem. So what we do in case of the Thevenin's theorem, first we remove the load resistance and then we find out the Thevenin's voltage and we find the Thevenin's resistance for computation of the Thevenin's circuit, for drawing the Thevenin circuit, Thevenin equivalent circuit. And after getting the RTH, we can easily compute the RL, that is nothing but equal to RTH. And if we know IL is the current in the circuit, that is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL, and it can be written as VTH divided by 2 RTH in terms of the Thevenin's resistance. And power is nothing but maximum power will be equal to IL square into RL, and power will be maximum, well, current value will be maximum in the circuit, and IL is VTH divided by 2 RTH, and if we substitute this IL in this equation, IL square RL, we will get VTH square divided by 4 RTH square into RTH, and finally maximum power is nothing but VTH square divided by 4 RTH. This is the very important formula for any exam. This is a very important formula for any exam. You need to remember to simplify to solve the problem using maximum power transfer theorem. So two things you need to remember. One is the load resistance equal to the Thevenin's resistance. Second, the maximum power is nothing but VTH square divided by 4 RTH. So let's see one problem for better understanding of the maximum power transfer theorem. In this circuit, we have to find the value of the resistance RL. Value of the resistance RL, we have to find the value of the resistance RL for maximum power transfer and calculate the maximum power. What does it mean? In case of the maximum power transfer theorem, we have to compute the value of RL, and it is nothing but equal to RTH that we have already seen, and calculate the maximum power that can be calculated by P max, which is equal to VTH square divided by 4 RTH. So overall, for solving this problem, we have to simplify the Thevenin circuit. It means we have to compute VTH and RTH for P max, and we have to compute RTH for RL. So let's see how we can simplify it, how we can find out the value of VTH and RTH. First, we'll remove the load resistance and we'll compute the VTH across the terminal. And this is the open circuited, and consider A and B, we will find out the voltage VTH across this terminal. Across these two terminals, we'll compute first. Then we'll compute the RTH also. So let's first we see what is VTH in this case. And here we can see that this is the open circuit. So current I1 in this branch is equal to current I1 in this branch also. Similarly, current I2 in this branch is equal to current I2 in this branch. Okay, so this current I is dividing in two parts, I1 and I2, and we can easily find out I1 is equal to voltage across these two resistors divided by sum of these two resistors, because these two are in the series. 10 ohm and 30 ohm both are in series because this is the open circuit. So I1 will be 100 divided by 10 plus 30, and I2 will be 100 divided by 20 plus 40. After getting the value of I1 and I2, we can apply the KVL in this loop for find out the VTH. We are considering voltage across these two terminals VTH. So already writing the VTH equation, we will get 10 I1 plus VTH minus 20 I2. If we apply the KVL in this direction, this is the 10 I1 plus VTH minus 10 I2 equal to 0. And we know value of I1 and I2, VTH can be computed as 8.2 volt. Now in the next step, we compute the calculation of we compute the RTH, and for calculation of RTH, we deactivate all the sources. All the independent sources are deactivated, means voltage sources are behave like short circuit, and current sources are acted as open circuit. So here voltage source was given, that is short circuited, and now we have to compute the RTH across these two terminals A and B. And further we can simplify this circuit in this way. Here you can understand the things. These 2 points are sorted. These 2 points are sorted, and this point is the A, this point is the A, this point is B, and these 2 points are sorted. Consider this is the C and this is the D. Both are sorted, so it is short circuited like this. We can further simplify it like this. We can draw like this. These two are in parallel, then it is series with another two resistance. Now you can understand A and B. C and D both are common, and this is 10 ohm, this is 30 ohm, this is 20 ohm, and this one is the 40 ohm. So for simplification of this circuit, these two 10 ohm and 30 ohm are in parallel, 10 ohm in parallel with 30, and this is in the series with 20 and 40 parallel. 20 ohm is in parallel with the 40 ohm, 10 ohm is in the parallel of 30 ohm, and equivalent of 10 and 30 is in the series with the equivalent of 20 and 40. And if we simplify it, we are getting 20.83 ohm. So now we have information about the VTH and RTH, and value of VTH and RTH. We know that is the VTH is 8.2 volt and RTH is 20.83. So load resistance value is nothing but RTH, that is 20.83, and maximum power is VTH squared divided by 4 RTH, that can be computed by simply substituting all these two values in the maximum power. We will get P max. So this is the final answer for this problem, and we can redraw the circuit VTH, RTH, and RL. Now we'll see another problem in which we have given one dependent sources. You know how we can simplify the Thevenin circuit for given dependent sources, because last video we have already discussed. So in this problem, we have to find the value of RL for maximum power transfer and calculate again maximum power. The same problem here again. We have to compute RTH, we have to compute VTH, then we can compute the P max, that is VTH squared divided by 4 RTH. This is very important formula. And RL is equal to RTH. So overall, we require these two things. If you know these two things, you can easily calculate the RL and P max. So in case of the dependent sources, what we do, the procedure for dependent sources, first we compute VTH by open the load resistance, then we compute the IN by sorting the terminals, then we compute RTH, that is nothing but VTH divided by IN. Okay, so Norton's theorem is also applying here for computing the IN. So this is the VTH because we have to compute the VTH across these two terminals. RL is removed from this terminal and we are going to compute the VTH. And after solving it, if we apply the KVL in this equation, in this mass, if we apply the KVL in this mass, we will get one equation and we got the value of I because here we have only one variable I because this is the current I is flowing in entire mass and this is the open circuit. So I equal to minus 1 ampere. And VTH can be computed like if we write VTH that can be computed 40I plus 50 across voltage across this is nothing but the VTH that is nothing that is equal to 40I plus 50 and we know the value of I so we can get the VTH. Now for calculation of RTH we first we need to compute the IN. So terminals are short circuited and we'll compute the value of IN in this branch. We apply the two KVL equations in these two mass equations. So we will get two equations with variable I1 and I2 with variable I1 and I2 and here you can see that this is the I branch flowing in this I current flowing in this branch that is equal to I2. So we can replace this I with I2 because this is this is 10I which is equal to 10I2. So after simplifying it we will get two values for current I1 and I2. And in this branch, current is IN that is equal to I1 minus I2 because current I1 is flowing in the direction of IN and current I2 is flowing in the same branch in the opposite direction of the IN. So IN equal to I1 minus I2 and we can get to 0.625 ampere and RTH can be calculated by VTH divided by IN that is 16 ohm. Now load resistance is equal to RTH and maximum power is VTH divided by 4 RTH that can be calculated. And this is the equivalent circuit for the maximum power. Now, we will discuss about the superposition theorem. Superposition theorem is applicable when we have more than one number of sources. It is applicable for more than one number of sources. Okay, so what is the statement? The superposition principle states that voltage across an element or current through the element in a linear circuit is equal to the algebraic sum of voltage across that element due to each independent source acting alone. If we have to compute the voltage in any element or any component, when we have given more number of sources, if we find the voltage across that component due to the only independent source acting alone and we deactivate all other sources. So let's understand this statement with the problem. So you need to remember these 2 points for solving the superposition theorem. First, you consider only one independent source at a time while all other independent sources are deactivated or turned off. What does it mean? Open circuit as current source and voltage source will be short circuited. A dependent source will be left intact because they are controlled by the circuit variable. So we don't need to deactivate the dependent sources, only deactivate the independent sources and consider only one independent source at a time. So in this problem, we have given two sources. One is a 6 volt voltage source, another one is a 3 ampere current source. We have to compute the voltage V across the 4 ohm resistance that can be easily computed with the help of KVL and KCL and nodal analysis. But here we can apply the superposition theorem because we have given two sources in this circuit. One is a 6 volt, other one is a 3 ampere current source. So what we will do, first we'll compute the voltage across the 4 ohm resistance due to the 6 volt. Then we'll compute the voltage across the 4 ohm resistance due to the 3 ampere current source. So let's understand. We consider voltage V1 across the 4 ohm resistance due to the 6 volt and voltage V2 across the 6 or 4 ohm resistance due to the 3 ampere current source, and algebraic sum of the voltages V1 and V2 will be equal to the V. So first we deactivate the 3 ampere current source, that is the open circuit, and voltage V1 can be computed by a simple voltage dividing rule. Also we can apply the KVL and we can find out the V1 equal to 4I1 also. This is a very easy problem and you can simplify it, and V1 is equal to 2 volt. Now for acting the current source alone, we deactivate the voltage source, and this is short circuited. Current source is considered. Here we will apply the 3 ampere current is flowing in this direction, and current is dividing into branches. So we can apply the current dividing rule and easily find out the voltage in this branch V2, and that is V2 equal to 8 volt, and algebraic sum of these voltage will be equal to the voltage V across the 4 ohm resistance due to the combination of both the sources. So this is the 10 volt answer for this problem. We understand this theorem by another problem in which we have given one dependent source also. So here we have given two independent sources and one dependent source. We will not deactivate the dependent source. We will deactivate only one independent source at a time, because one we need to consider for the solving the problem. And in this problem, we have to compute the current I naught across the 5 ohm resistance. So let's consider I naught 1 is the current in the 5 ohm resistance due to the 4 ampere current source, and I naught double dash is the current in 5 ohm resistance to the 20 volt voltage source. So first we consider 4 ampere current source and deactivate the voltage source, that is the short circuited. We are going to find the value of I naught prime in this branch. So we can simply apply the KVL in this branch, and we can solve. Here we can't apply the KVL because we don't know voltage across the 4 ohm resistance. We don't know voltage across the 4 ohm resistance. That's why we can't apply the KVL in this branch. So after simplifying it, simple simplifying approach, you can apply and you can find out the value of I naught prime, that is the 52 divided by 17 ampere. And this current is depending on the current in the 5 ohm resistance. This is the current, so a current controlled voltage source. Now we will find out the current in 5 ohm resistance due to the voltage source, and this current source is open circuited. Now we can apply the KVL in this two loop and we can find out the value of current I naught prime, that is the minus 60 divided by 17 ampere, and algebraic sum of this current will be nothing but the total current through 5 ohm resistance, which is minus 8 divided by 17 ampere. The negative sign of the current means that current is actually flowing in this direction, but current I naught is given from the bottom direction to the bottom direction. Thank you for watching this video.